This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, Diana Friend with the Topeka Library, Walt Boyd with Mass Appeal, Cherie Sage with ABWA, and District 2 Councilman TJ Brown.
Well, folks, we're here with Diana Friend, my friend, talking about the big read at the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library. How are you, Diana?
I am wonderful, and it is big read time, and that means February. You will be reading the Big Read Project book, True Grit.
True Grit. Now, we were just kind of talking a little bit before. I've not read True Grit, and I haven't seen True Grit. So enlighten me just a little bit here without giving too much away.
This is the 7th time that the Topeka community has had a big read, and it's very easy. It's where everyone in the community is encouraged to read the same book and talk about it, attend programs that relate to it, and because there are all sorts of ways that you can experience literature. One is reading the book. Here, Chris, you haven't read it?
I'm going to read it.
Read this book.
Yes.
Now, when you get done with that book, I want you to pass it on to someone else that hasn't read it and say, hey, how'd you like the book? And you know what? You may like it, you may love it, you may hate it, and you know what? That's what it is. You've started a conversation. We try to choose books that do fulfill all of those elements. And actually, last spring, the public, the community weighed in. They had their choice between True Grit, The Grapes of Wrath, and Tom Sawyer. And this True Grit, as you would say in the horse business, won by a nose. And so it's very fun. We're having a lot of interest, a lot of buzz on this. There are movies associated with this, the most famous with John Wayne and Glenn Campbell back in 1969, probably made it pop culture.
Okay.
In 2010, there was another version made with starring Jeff Bridges. I prefer the Jeff Bridges version because it follows the book almost verbatim.
Interesting.
And it is the only book that became famous that Charles Portis wrote, and he had been a well-known journalist that he returned home to Arkansas and was interested in the history, and that's how the book was set.
Interesting. So I know, a couple of years ago we had The Great Gatsby, and I participated in that, and that was a lot of fun. Kind of the same situation. We had a book, and then we had kind of an older version of the movie, and then we had a newer version of the movie. So you had kind of something that spoke to so many different generations and encouraged the reading part of it as well.
Right. But we also, being a library, and we're about literacy and lifelong learning, we have the history component on it. So we have programs that relate to that. Jim Hoy from the Center for the Great Plains is coming. Tom Averill is a well-known person on that. He will be our keynote speaker, and we have a very interesting component in that we have David Milken from the University of Pennsylvania coming, and they have a facility called the Duckworth Lab that actually is based on the premise of having grit and how you may establish those factors in your child to make them successful. So he will be, we're partnering with Washburn University on that and hope to have parents, educators all come and learn from the University of Pennsylvania experts.
Tons of events tied in with this as well.
30 events in 28 days. One thing that I'm really excited about, we have partnered with TPAC. Don Williams will be here on February 26th, and they have provided 40 tickets for people who attend big read events. The Don Williams, the good old country boy. And we also are doing things with the Single Action Shooting Society. Our own Rusty Walker and her husband Sterling are the multi-champion sharpshooters from the Midwest area.
I had no idea.
Oh, I had no idea.
This is a real story.
This is a real story.
Wow.
And I think if you listen to 94 Country, it's probably not much of a secret, but I met Rusty just because I had been down at the Expo Center and the mounted shooters were having a competition down there. And it's fabulous because they shoot from horseback and they shoot targets. And when we had our ambassadors event, she and other members of the they call them the SAS group, but from the society on a display, and they actually brought the handgun that Mattie is supposedly carrying in this because it belonged to her father, and I don't want to be the spoiler in all of this, but it was amazing because Mattie's a 14-year-old girl that is out to avenge the death of her father, and she's coming into town to claim his body and to get restitution for everything that happened there. And she's carrying this gun that must have weighed at least 6 or 7 pounds. And she didn't look like she was much of a heavyweight herself. So,
you know, you're just proving here that the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library is just another wonderful resource in the community, bringing so many organizations together, bringing books into people's hands, and we're sharing them around and reading things we've never read before.
One more thing.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Ride Topeka Metro bus, and there are books on the bus.
There's books on the bus.
Yes.
Very good.
Susan Duffy, she's head cowgirl down there, and we are turning it out that the Topeka Metro, it will be your research to be a part of the Big Read.
Excellent. Well, that's even another avenue, a new piece to the Big Read here. We're very excited to be celebrating that in the month of February, all through that at the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library and all over the city. So be sure to investigate True Grit and participate.
Yes.
That's our big news.
Read it, Chris.
Very good. Well, folks, here in the studio is Walt Boyd putting on a very interesting production in downtown Topeka at the Break Room at Mass Appeal. How are you doing, Walt?
I'm good. It's always good to see you, Chris.
It's always great to see you as well, and always interested to hear about the projects you're working on. One of our local actors here, you do a lot of work.
I try to stay employed as much as I can doing theater. I've been very fortunate, especially here in the Topeka area, to do a lot of great roles in some terrific shows at a lot of different venues. So.
And we see a lot at Topeka Civic Theater. And just before we were talking about your wife, she was cast in a show as well with Ad Astra.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Very
She's playing
good.
Martha.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And there's a tie there because you were in that show at Topeka Civic Theater when they did it many years ago at the...
Yeah, about years ago.
That many, huh?
Back at the old warehouse.
Yeah.
It was actually 21 years ago.
Wow, has it been that long?
It's amazing. I was thinking about that the other day, and it's just, I don't know where the time goes. But,
Wow, that's pretty crazy. But she's going to be opening that show the same weekend that you're going to be opening a show.
That's right.
At the Break Room. It's Mass Appeal. Tell us about Mass Appeal.
Mass Appeal is a wonderful little comedy that was written back in 1980. It had a good run on Broadway, was nominated for some Tony Awards. It's a 2-character play, 2 men. It's about a middle-aged priest, Catholic priest, who is very comfortable in his life, very comfortable with his congregation, but he's very conservative in his views. He doesn't really like to rock the boat much. He's a little bit of a drinker. He gets many gifts of wine from his congregation.
Okay.
But he meets a young seminarian who comes to one of his sermons, and this young man is very determined to sort of rock the boat, for lack of a better term. He wants to see the priest and the congregation of the church become a little more activist, a little more caring about societal issues. So the older priest, which is obviously the role I play, sees a lot of himself in this younger seminarian, and I think he's fascinated by him, and he sort of takes him under his wing to sort of show him the ropes of what's expected of him politically in the church, while the two end up kind of learning a lot from each other as things work out. And, I'm fortunate enough in this production, my eldest son, Benjamin Lemie, is going to be playing the part of the young seminarian. So it's the first time we've really had a chance to work closely on a show like this where we're both playing major parts.
That's excellent, and bringing the family together as well. It's
absolutely.
really spectacular. Of course, Mass Appeal is going to be playing, opens March 14th, and it plays through the 11th at the Break Room, and folks can find out more information at breakroomdowntown.com. I want to talk a little bit about the selection of this show. What does it bring? Is it timely for what's happening in the world now?
I think it is. It still holds up very well. I don't think it's really become dated at all in the 30 years since it's been written. It raises some very pertinent and important issues, and at the same time, it's an extremely funny play as well. It was made into a film with Jack Lemmon back in the mid-'80s, and it was adapted by the fellow who actually wrote the script. His name is Bill C. Davis, and I think it holds up very well. It'll have a lot to say, I think, to 2015 audiences as well.
Excellent. Of course, in the movie versions, anything with Jack Lemmon, he's a good guy.
Absolutely.
You have a
one of my
time.
all-time favorites.
There's not a whole lot of stuff he made that I don't care. But I haven't seen the movie version. Is it comparable pretty much to the script? Or
I'll be honest with you, I've only seen bits and pieces of the movie.
That's good.
What I've seen, I enjoy, but I'm not really interested in this point at seeing the whole thing until after the stage production is done, because from my own perspective, I don't even want to risk subconsciously copying anything that I might see in the movie. I think it's important for an actor to have his own interpretation of a particular character.
Absolutely. That's a really big thing for a director, and I think it's it's good that you haven't seen it. There's a lot that can come from that.
Absolutely.
Because you don't. I've been to several shows where you see it seems as though it's just a repeat of what you've seen in the movie, where people have even gone above and beyond, to copy that, and that kind of chips away a little bit at the art.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And I had originally read this script. A friend loaned it to me because he thought it might be something I'd be interested in. Of course, he had in mind me playing the younger part back then. But it's a play that stuck with me for all these years since I first read it. And it's been a play that's been on my bucket list as far as something I've really wanted to do over the years. And here I now have a chance to not only direct it, but be in it as well, which is double pleasure for me, and the fact that my son is acting in it with me makes it even more special.
That's really a spectacular thing, and it takes a special kind of guy to be able to do it very well, and of course we're lucky here in Topeka to have you in our community bringing some great things to the stage.
Thank you.
You bet, you bet. Of course, Mass Appeal, it's got a spectacular menu. It's served as a dinner performance, so there's a great meal that Chef Michelle is going to be preparing for just a very intimate crowd of people, so it's very unique in the fact that you get a great meal, you get a great show, and there's really no more than 40 people watching and participating in that with you. So it's a really unique ability to get out and do something different. A great date night. So check it out at breakroomdowntown.com. I'll say it again, breakroomdowntown.com, to get those tickets and find out more information about Mass Appeal. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming on the show.
Chris, it's always a pleasure.
That's Walt Boyd, and break a leg. I'll say break a leg. All right, good deal. Welcome to our studio, and I'd like to extend a welcome to my friend Cherie Sage. How are you, Sherri?
I'm doing great.
Great to have you in the studio. You're here to talk to us about the American Businesswomen's Association's luncheon that's happening on March 10th. You've got some big news happening here with that.
Absolutely. This is an annual event that our chapter holds. I'm part of the ABWA career chapter. There are additional chapters in Topeka as well, but this happens to be an event that our chapter holds every year to raise funds for a scholarship for women who are attending Washburn University and Washburn Tech.
Now, tell us a little bit about ABWA here as an organization for those who may not be, associated with that at all.
Absolutely. It's a national organization with local chapters throughout the United States, and really it's bringing women in business together so they can be supportive and they can work together towards their personal and professional goals. And it's really a lot about making friends and, of course, making those important business networks.
Of course, networking is very important in this, and so you've got at this luncheon, you're going to be giving an award out. So tell us about how that works.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Each year we identify what we call a woman of distinction in the Topeka area, and this is someone who really stands as a pillar of what I think a woman in business embodies. Someone that's really set the bar, that has achieved their own personal goals, and then has turned around and helped others to do the same thing. This year, our woman of distinction is Dr. Brenda Dietrich, who is the superintendent of Washburn-Auburn Schools. We're extremely excited. She is getting ready to retire, so she has many reasons to celebrate, and we'll be celebrating her.
Wonderful. Well, a wonderful woman here who's been really a great woman and networking across for the city of Topeka as well.
And particularly this year, because this is an event that we use to do fundraising for scholarships, someone that has spent her entire career in education and helped the future leaders to become what they want to be in this world. I mean, what nobler cause is there than that? So to be able to honor her, and then through this event, to then be able to raise funds towards additional scholarships to help even more people to reach those personal and professional goals, is just a really exciting time. And Dr. President Farley with Washburn University is going to be the MC for the event.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
It is. It's going to be. It should be really raucous. We're excited to have him there, and we know how much he appreciates the work that she has done. He respects her very much, and so we will be having other people there. I won't say it's going to be a roast, but certainly we will have some of her colleagues up telling us stories. And
my ears perked up here.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. It's a fun event. It's a wonderful event. You get a great meal. It is at the Manor Conference Center at Topeka Capitol. And we're in the Sunflower Ballroom. So it's a beautiful event. And we also celebrate our previous women of distinction, which there are many at this point. Wow. This is our 23rd anniversary of this event. So
23. So who are some of the other women who have been honored with this? Not to put you on the
Judge
spot
Crystal Marquardt was last year. June Wincheffel.
June is a wonderful
Anita
lady.
Wolgast. Everyone knows Anita.
Of course, yeah.
Blanche Parks. Oh gosh, the list goes on and on.
Very substantial folks.
It's people that you would certainly recognize in this community. There's no question about it.
And so, folks listening and watching right now who say and agree with me on this fact that we need to make sure you have plenty of scholarship money to give out. How do they give you that money?
Well, we would love to take your money. We would love to have you at the event. And we do sell both tables and individual tickets. The tickets, or I should say reservations, because we don't give out paper tickets, but the reservations are $40 a plate, and a portion of that is tax deductible if you wish. We also have sponsorship opportunities available. That information is also available on our website, or you can message us on our Facebook page, and we're happy to get you connected.
There you have it. A wonderful reason to go and support their luncheon. Of course, that is on March 10th. It's 11:30 to 1 o'clock at the Manor Conference Center, which is at the Expo Center and the Capitol Plaza Hotel. So put that in your calendar. Find them on Facebook, the ABWA, and then you can go to their website. Say that website one more time.
It's ABWA-career at webpages. That's ATWEBPAGES. So at webpages.com.
Perfect. So go there.
Or Google us. That's easier.
There you go. That works as well. And go attend the event. If you can't make it, we'll write them a check so they can give some scholarships. That's basically what we
That
can
would be
do, right?
wonderful. Any support is welcome.
All right. Well, these guys are going to be happy to give it to you. Thank you so much, Sherri Sage with the ABWA. We'd like to extend a welcome to T.J. Brown. He is Topeka City Council District Number 2, joining us here in the studio. How are you?
I'm just fine, Chris.
I call you TJ, of course.
Please do.
Wonderful.
Please do.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start out. District 2. Let's talk a little bit about the bounds of District 2.
Okay. Well, District 2 is my favorite topic.
Of course.
So the bounds of District 2 encompass all of North Topeka, the majority of Oakland. It used to include the Garden Park area, but that's now part of District 3. It now includes a portion of East Topeka North and a smaller portion of East Topeka South.
Very good. So as we talk, about the council and everything, what types of issues are the folks in District 2 looking at? What's important to them?
Well, I think the main thing that the folks at District 2 want is good governance.
Mm-hmm.
They want, of course, fiscal responsibility and good roads and all the things that we campaign on.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest issue is how do we get there?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they engage me on. Some people want economic development, some people don't want to see dollars go to that. So we're having a big debate in Topeka right now about how we move the city forward, and that's really thrilling to me that we're doing that. I see a bright future for Topeka and for District 2. I'm thrilled with what's happening in Noto. That district is continuing to expand and solidify, and it's also diverse. It has the merchants, it has the artists, it has the craftsmen.
Really blown up over
it has, and like anything new, it's having some growing pains, but it's a fantastic group of people that are involved there, and I really do believe it's having a positive impact on the neighborhoods around there. And then reciprocally, that's a big word, reciprocally,
you can't say the word 10 times fast.
The city is making some investments through the Housing and Neighborhood Development Department, through the SORT grant in the neighborhoods surrounding Noto. So hopefully there's some synergy there, and that growth will benefit all of North Topeka.
Mm-hmm.
In the Oakland area, there's a big project that's going to be coming up. It'll start next year. The actual construction will start. There's going to be basically a big redo on Seward Avenue, which is one of the two main thoroughfares through Oakland. Some amenities, possibly some entryway signs, kind of get some neighborhood pride in not that we don't have it, we have tons of it, but to get some shown in the neighborhood to go along with some of our new murals we have over there. So I'm excited.
The mural project has done
yeah, the mural project all over Topeka. The utility boxes, and I've got several in Oakland and around the district, and those have had such an impact on reducing some of the graffiti problems, which has been a great thing. And again, it brings a sense of neighborhood pride because some of the murals actually touch back on the history of the neighborhoods that they're in. So that's I sound like a California surfer. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
So, but it truly is. The other part of the district that is fairly new to District 2, which is what has moved down into East Topeka, that area is a little more challenged, but it's got great people there too, and they want to see good things happen in their neighborhoods and in their part of Topeka too, and I'm going to be a firm advocate for that.
Yeah, I know I'm involved with Safe Streets. I see at the meetings, the coalition meetings, they have the first Wednesday of every month at the Great Overland Station. So we see a lot of people who are really interested in making a difference in their community and trying to make Topeka the safest capital. The tagline is the safest capital city in the country.
Right.
And we see a lot of great folks that come together for that.
We do. That's one of the things that's amazed me the most. I'm not a native Topekan. I moved here in 1990 to go to school at Washburn Tech. And that truly has amazed me how many people truly care about the city, truly care about the county, and want good things. The big challenge has been to facilitate that collaboration and then to have that result in good, positive efforts and results from those efforts. And Safe Streets is one of those facilitators for that. And yeah, I don't get to every meeting that they have, but I'm definitely a supporter of the organization.
Yep. Well, I really do appreciate you coming by today and chatting with us. Of course, that's TJ Brown, Topeka City Council District Number 2. Of course, we'd love to check in with our council folks to find out what's going on. And you guys, that's your job, right?
We try. We do our best, and I appreciate you having me today, Chris. Thank you very much.